Remember, the YouTube ads feed the ducks.
Okay, it's July the 28th and we're going to start a brand new series on YouTube. Now, everybody knows in the summertime you grow your own vegetables in the garden, you have fresh tomatoes, and it's great. But in the wintertime comes, you have no longer any fresh tomatoes. And grocery store tomatoes basically are green tomatoes that they've forced artificially to turn red. So you're eating green tomatoes, because I know this because Rocco won't eat them, because Rocco only eats ripe tomatoes. So anyways, the deal is, I hate this because in the wintertime I like fresh tomatoes. So last year I was going to do it, I didn't do it. Procrastinated, things happen. But this year, when we had the everybody knows the outbreak of tomato weeds in our garden from our previous videos, it was like 1,000 tomato plants in our garden. I saved the 2 strongest ones, and I've kept them alive, and here they are. I just took them out of there. There's 1, and there's 2. Okay, so now what I've done is I've taken some standard fencing wire. It's 52-inch tall. Now this is the old fencing wire. It's not like the new high tensile stuff. The new high tensile stuff you couldn't do this with. But what I did was I cut a piece 76 inches long, and I made it into a cylinder lengthwise. And I put these cable clamps on here to hold the wire. Then I twisted the wire with a pair of vice grips, twisted it so it stayed even stiffer. And on the bottom, I took the wire and I cut it. I left the pieces on, I bent them down, or in, so that when I put it inside here, inside this 22-inch pot, and then fill it with dirt, we're going to plant the tomatoes in here. And what I did was, in my wheelbarrow here, I've got 1 bag, 18 kilogram bag of mushroom compost. And then I used professional seedless or soilless growing mix, Pro Mix BX, same type of thing, and 1/3 sifted soil from my garden, because I want to have a little bit of an earthy taste to my tomatoes. So now we're going to put this all together, and I'll get back to you and show you what the end result is of what's going to end up in our living room for probably the next 2 or 3 years. Okay, so here's the deal. I got the tomato plants in the planter. Now, whatever the strongest tomato plant is the one that's going to survive. The one that is not is going to get killed. This planter is only big enough for 1 tomato plant, and that's the way it's going to go. So probably about October, November, I should have tomatoes. I'm going to be moving it inside here in about 2 or 3 days once it gets settled in, and see how everything goes, and then I'll move it into the living room so it doesn't get or lack of sun shock that they seem to go into. I want it to grow slow and steady, because this plant is going to produce tomatoes in November, December, January, February, so I don't need to rush growing it right now. And the cage, height wise, I'm hoping I can get a year, 2 years worth of growth. Probably not 2 years. I'm probably going to end up having to vine it somehow in the living room, because tomatoes will continue growing for 2 to 3 years. So this is going to be an interesting experiment, and I'll keep you posted on how it goes. It's July 31st of the Heirloom Organic Indoor Tomato Plant Adventure. So I want to show you, I brought it inside 2 days ago, and so far the flowers are just blooming like crazy on it. So coming inside has not slowed it down. So as the progress goes here, it'll be interesting to see how the tomato develops inside. So I'll give you an update how that goes later on.